right, chap. Here we go. Just yesterday, I and many others came to learn that apparently, allegedly, Kathleen Kennedy was finally retiring from Lucasfilm. Finally being asked to leave Lucasfilm at the end of 2025. And I and many others were excited by that news. And also to have just feelings of apathy in general. I feel like Kathleen Kennedy has not done a very good job of running Lucasfilm these past, God, at this point now, over 10 years. There just seems to be such a lack of vision and so much frustration, so little structure, saying all these projects are happening and then canceling the majority of them, bringing on all these amazing filmmakers and writers, and then just throwing by the wayside, and just some of the quality of the shows. Again, not to say that everything's been bad. There's been some, I think Rogue One, in hindsight, is definitely the best of the theatrically released Disney Star Wars films. I've liked a number of their shows. I think the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian are good. I think Andor is the best thing they've done, honestly, probably since The Empire Strikes Back. But there's been a lot of terrible things, terrible entries in Star Wars these last few years, and there are other properties. The rest of the sequel trilogy, although you have fans of those other 2 films, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, not a fan. Solo was a disappointment. Then you have, third season of Mandalorian, not great. Book of Boba Fett, profound disappointment. The Acolyte, I think the worst of anything that they've produced so far. And Skeleton Crew, I can't really speak on too much, but I know a lot of people enjoy that show. I just haven't watched all of it. But yeah, just Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and then the failure of Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny, which I was extremely disappointed by. One of the worst movies of the year that came out. And then Willow, which I didn't even bother watching. Apparently no one else did, which they delisted. You can't even find it anywhere, unless you pirate it, of course. And so it was like, this seemed inevitable. Like, all right, Kathleen Kennedy's finally going to be removed, and now we can get someone else in there. Hopefully right the ship. And there's so many other factors. I mean, I think you got to gut the company. But apparently, chap, Kathleen Kennedy has released a statement. It's from Deadline. Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plan. She is not soon retiring, and the films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. Oh, boy. Here we go. I thought I'd see it all in trade journalism, but the piranha-like frenzy on Kathleen Kennedy and the success speculation that followed Matt Baloney's Puck report that Disney was putting her out to pasture is a new one on me. Baloney has for years been beating on Kennedy like she owes him money. And he this week reported Kennedy was retiring. I recall he essentially did the same thing more than a year ago, and yet here she still is producing the Mandalorian movie and prepping the Sean Levy-directed Star Wars film, which Ryan Gosling is circling. This is kind of like an opinion piece to a degree, but I'll keep reading. As well as numerous other films, streaming projects of A-list participants. Still, the trades follow gusto, dishing speculative reporting on who might succeed Kennedy. Takeaway was chaos, and that Kennedy was being pushed. The rally's different and far more orderly. According to insiders, Kennedy has been working on succession plans for a couple years, eyeing candidates from within, process of Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, that puts someone like Dave Filoni, who knows the universe inside, on a strong position. Fucking Jesus. Oh, God, it's the last thing I want, or the franchise needs. I admire Baloney's hustle and ability to turn over hard ground, but his penchant for defining industry people like Kennedy is disparaging ways. Well, I just don't understand that. I didn't appreciate it when Deadline founder Nikki Fink did it here, and it feels like this is like an opinion piece, pretty much, from what I'm reading. Kennedy's arguably the most successful female producer executive in Hollywood history. She's produced over 70 films that have collected 120 Oscar nods, 25 wins. She herself was awarded the honorary Oscar with the Irving G. Livermore Award, yada, yada. So, yeah, he's just going over her things. And so, okay, I guess it's an interview. We've heard from Deadline, we've read all these speculative reports that you are out, that there's a frenzy for the next person who's going to take over Lucasfilm. What is the truth? The truth is, I want to just say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That is the first thing that's important to say. I'm not retiring. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. We have an amazing bench of people here. I don't agree with that. And we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. We are in lockstep as to what's going to be, and I'm producing Mandalorian movie right now, and I'm also producing Sean Levy's movie, which is after that. So I'm continuing to stay. Okay, so that's what's happening? See, this gets to the fucking, like, the issue that I have. Because they announced all these other movies, however many years ago now. You had the Jon Favreau Mandalorian film. You had the Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy Rey movie. And then you also had James Mangold's movie, Dawn of the Jedi. And so now it's like the Sean Levy movie is next. Again, there's just, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. This is like, it feels like there's no structure. It feels like we're constantly shooting from the hip of all this shit. This is why she should leave or honestly be fucking fired, but they won't do that. I'm producing because of all the accolades he just, read out. Which, the other thing is, and I talked about this yesterday, how involved was she creatively as a producer in those movies? Was she a mover and a shaker? She's like, I'll be able to get you this resource and be able to shoot here and this money here for this person. I'm sure she did that, but she's not a creative. She's just not. I think to give her the same credit for the success of something like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Jurassic Park, the same credit as a Steven Spielberg is absolute insanity. I think that's fucking nuts. I think that's crazy. I don't think that's on that's accurate in any capacity. But in any case, I'm producing Mandalorian movie right now. I'm also producing the Sean Levy movie, which is after that. Wow. Okay. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm, looking very thoughtfully with Bob Nail and his 2 stepping in. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make the announcement when we want to make it. Okay. So it is happening, but maybe the timetable is further in the future. Okay. Deadline says that you're looking within seems to give credence to what you've heard, that an executive like Chief Executive Officer Dave Filoni is in a good position as he works on Star Wars to write and direct. I can't say who it is, but there's just an internal process that goes on inside a large corporation, public held company, as to how we go about making deals, policy decisions, and marketing announcements. Nothing usual about that, and we're in the process. This later press coverage, it sounds like chaos. What's the reality? Chaos. There's never been any chaos. That is fucking... Okay. I'm going to read the rest of this tonight. Chaos, there has never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is. That's not true. That's fucking bullshit. And we've been talking about it, as I said, nonstop for the last couple of years because, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be here forever. George asked me 13 years ago to step in, and I'm looking at who's going to replace me. And I said we were having a bunch of people who are trying to handle the business, the creative side. The job has grown all since I stepped in. There was no streaming. There weren't a lot of things that we're involved in right now going on, so it has grown. How far down the road do you expect? Now I'm getting mad. Before I was apathetic, but then hearing her make these statements is absolutely ridiculous. How far down the road do you expect before a change gets made and you go off and produce these 2 big Star Wars things? We'll probably make an announcement months or a year out, and I have every intention of sticking around to help that person be successful. I'm already producing the Mandalorian movie, and Sean Levy's after that. That is crazy that... Oh, Jesus, okay. Oh, man. I recall the same retirement predictions were rendered a while ago, and you re-upped, and here you are. What do you make of the fixation on your job status? I truly don't know. That's not... Any discussion previously about me retiring or quitting or any of those things, that's complete rumor mill, because through all these reports, I have just continued doing my job, continuing my contract, nothing unusual. It has all just been manufactured. Deadline says the connotation is you're being pushed aside in need of being replaced, though that's not what I've heard. Is absolutely not the case. It could not be further from the truth. And everything that we do inside Lucasfilm is in lockstep in communication with Disney. We all know what's going on. The communication has been completely collaborative, as you would expect. It's a big piece of business for them, and they want to empower me to help them make that decision and that choice. I'm doing that. This Deadline guy's weird. Well, you know what? I'm placing some blame on Marvel's Kevin Feige because he had the mix of a streak of superhero hits and set an impossible high bar, but now he's starting to take shrapnel. How daunting is it? Man, this guy is just fucking... coddling her. How daunting is it to run a company based on a beloved iconic IP? What has been the most challenging thing about running Lucasfilm when fans of the original trilogy fixate, measure everything against it, and don't see the business need of broadening the franchise when Disney paid so much for it? It's what will now go through of James Bond. Man. Oh, boy. Who wrote this article? I'm gonna, man. It is something I think about all the time. It's fascinating to think about how, this is fascinating. It is something I think about all the time. It's fascinating to think about how you sustain a brand, especially Star Wars, which is about to celebrate 50th anniversary. And so to analyze and understand what was inspiring George when he created Star Wars, when he was still looking at Saturday matinees and Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, and those are things of the past and politically what he has reflecting on his stories, because Star Wars has always had a kind of world building. It reflects a certain amount of our society. The world, needs to say, is changing by the second. Consequently, the audience has changed dramatically. How they consume things, we're seeing this reflected in the health of the movie business and what it really means for streaming and what all these platforms that may be on the horizon. You're trying to look forward, and at the same time, you're trying to create stories that feel familiar. So you're moving into the future, but you're maintaining a sense of familiarity. I think that's the hardest balance. That's when you have a brand that's expansive. You're also, and this is something we work very hard at, try to find entry points for different generations, because that's what Star Wars has always been. It's a very generational brand, and we want to sustain that, and we work hard to sustain that. So George gave us a gift of storytelling, being across a lot of different genres, and that gives a lot of opportunity to try things. What we've really enjoyed about the streaming space is we've been able to experiment. Okay. It's hard to do that, especially, and I think that why I feel so good to be able to move into the Mandalorian movie, as we're coming off 3 seasons of a very successful show. We've actually built an audience for that, and we gave the young audience an opportunity to enter Star Wars at a different place and not feel like you have to seen everything. Become their Star Wars, and I think is the fun storytelling challenge. There's a lot of fucking word salad in this. You've got a long resume of big movies compared to that. How much tougher is challenge so much public scrutiny and second guessing by the rabid fan base? It's not uncommon to develop a project with big names who fall out when visions don't align, but they get reported as a big implosion. This deadline writer is giving her so much cover. What you just said, though, is so interesting to me, Mike, because... Mike! Fuck you, Mike! Because that is the development. It doesn't matter if you're doing Star Wars or anything else. What's troubling and fascinating is their development gets scrutinized. Yeah! Justifiably so. And I don't know any other production company where their development gets scrutinized like that. Is absolutely not true. Just look at what's happened with Marvel, happening with the DC, I mean, now even with James Gunn, and even the DCEU. It's very hard for anything to happen within Star Wars without some aspect of becoming public before you even want it to become public. So I guess managing the message in some way is also quite a challenge, because, of course, in every single thing we put in development, are we going to... I mean, most of the stuff you've put in development hasn't come to fruition. That's not unusual. You want to make those things that we feel are the best. Yeah. How's that gone? We want to make those things that at the time passes feel relevant to what the audience is responding to. So there's a constant discussion around that. So yeah, it's a tricky one, because a lot of the scrutiny around Star Wars and the negativity has been about development. Of course, we're going to develop lots of different things with understanding that's not everything gets... You haven't had a movie in soon to be 6 years. 6 years. What? Okay. I wrote a piece last fall about Simon Kinberg making a deal to write and produce a Star Wars trilogy. How's that going? We're absolutely rolling fast and furiously. Fast and Furious family chat. That has gone exceptionally well, and he's literally going to script as we... Wait, what? We're absolutely... Wait, what? Right, and produce a Star Wars trilogy. How's that going? We're absolutely rolling fast and furiously. That has gone exceptionally well, excuse me. And he's literally going to script as we speak. We'll see something probably around June. Okay. Simon, if you remember, he did some work with us years ago with the animated show, which was really wonderful. I can't remember the name of the show. Collaborative experience. And then he got very, very busy with X-Men, and then recently became available again. And he segued into the space beautifully. We're really excited about where that's headed. There's spin-offs, and then there's the core Star Wars story, broken into trilogy, this continuation of that. This is the next generation, new saga that moves us into the future. And the one by Deadpool Wolverine screenwriter, director Sean Levy, that's also in the future. It's all post the first 9. Okay. Sean's is a standalone Star Wars story that takes place post-9, maybe 5 or 6 years out, and Mandalorian really stands on its own because there we're dealing with a whole other era in the New Republic. We have other development going on in that space as well, so that's a space that we're pretty much focused on right at the moment, because obviously with Mandalorian, we have a pretty good sense of what's going. And with this, it's all pretty much new characters. May bring some of the characters back from the sequel saga, but pretty much new characters. How many development-type projects have you been percolating that you feel comfortable turning into something down the line? To play it safe, I'd say 3 or 4 right at the moment. And large part of it, Mike, is who is the talent we're attaching, and that's a challenge in itself these days because people get really busy. So you find yourself having to wait a lot of the top talent in streaming movies now. They're juggling schedules, and when you do Star Wars, you pretty much have to step into it and not have any other competing work going on. It's a good 2 or 3 years minimum commitment, and that's tough to get top talent to be able to carve out that kind of time. So that's part of the challenge. By the way, apologies for just reading this. I'm just fascinated by this right now. So we got the prequel of James Mangold, who's Oscar now for the Bob Dylan movie, Complete Unknown. Yep, he's working on the script right now. Simon's working on scripts right now. Sean, we had been working with him already for about 1.5 years. These guys are real now. Jim, he got delayed a bit because of the Dylan movie. In the award season, you have to accommodate top talent to a certain extent, and quality is too so important. Yeah, sure. That we're trying to do. I like to wait for people. I think they're passionate and really good at the steps in Star Wars. Any others I've forgotten? Well, I keep thinking, waiting for Taika, and he's working with another writer. How is that script not done? he's so busy. I love him. I think if we ever do get a script, they haven't even seen a script. They haven't seen a script. When did that movie get announced? Did that movie get announced like 3-4 years ago? It doesn't even have a script yet. It's so revealing. Like this, like they clearly set this up with Deadline just to be like, we're gonna put this out here, clear the air. Like this is kind of like crazy that they did this interview, and they clearly went with a Deadline writer that is like super favorable towards Kathleen Kennedy and her tenure at Lucasfilm and her legacy and stuff like that. But the stuff that she's fucking saying is very revealing. And it literally, it proves why she's so unsuited in the position that she's in. I already saw a first act that I love, but tying him down is tricky. Well, I keep waiting for Taika, and he's working with another writer, and he's busy. I love him. I think wait, does this make any sense? Chad, am I fucking crazy? All right, I'm going to read this again. All right? I'm going to read this again. Any others I've forgotten? Yeah, I keep waiting for Taika, and he's working with another writer now. He's so busy, I love him. I think if we ever do get a script from Taika, like they haven't gotten one yet, it's going to be fantastic. I already saw a first act that I love, but tying him down, it's tricky. So what are you talking about a first act? You said you don't even have a script. What do you mean? Doesn't make any sense. I remember seeing his Thor Ragnarok entering with low expectation, watching his exuberant vision and thinking this is what you want when you eat at a movie theater on a Saturday night. It's so true, and that's exactly the tone we're always looking for with filmmakers who can pull it off. It's not like they're a dime a dozen really trying to find the dime in the rough, and he's one of them. See, when you hand the reins to a Lucasfilm protege, it sure sounds like you're going to be in the world for 8 or 10 years. Fair? I don't know if I'm going to say that, but yeah, it's possible. Might you also go back to working with your husband, Frank Marshall? Yeah, he's really something. Yeah. Do you look forward to a point where the two of you can kind of focus? Any regrets? Oh, here we go. This is what I want to read. I haven't seen a response. I think this is going to be the most telling. Any regrets? No. I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's so funny because I'm like, I'm just apathetic towards all of this. Like, whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, and now I'm legitimately like, what the? Now it makes so much sense. Now it's like, this is why it is. Oh my God. No. I mean, far from regrets. This could have been a chance for her to literally be like humble and say, you know what? We made some missteps. Right? Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. No, I mean far from regrets. I love the challenge of stepping into the space and being with stars over these years. Taking on the challenge of expanding on stars. I loved working with Disney, and the company has been fantastic in support of the IP. They've expanded things in ways I don't think George could have even imagined. Where's my goddamn money? And it's been such a learning experience. Yeah. I've never been an executive before. We know. We know. I'm a filmmaker through and through. I even approached the executive role as a filmmaker. What the fuck? What? What are you talking about? I love working with filmmakers. That is my lifeblood. It's what I enjoy more than anything. And being able to do that inside of Star Wars has been really fun because we have people who step into Star Wars who are diehard fans, and we have people who step into Star Wars who never really knew the IP that well. And you look at someone like Tony Gilroy. He has done transformative, exceptional work. That's true. I mean, she finally said something true. I've been working with Tony for more than a decade. I don't think Tony would have ever imagined he would have done that. Creative experience in Andor has been fantastic, and second season is coming out next month. That's where the sense of action comes from for me, and I just hope that continues. Will you arm twist Tony into doing one of those Star Wars movies after he was now created backstop in Rogue One? Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I can. I don't think he ever believed he'd be a decade inside Star Wars. He's writing some things on his own. I think he'd like to get back in the director's chair, so we'll see what he does. But he's such a talent, just fantastic. He also provided the creative spine for the Order. That's how we all met. Do you have other questions? Will you step out Lucasfilm boss this year? We really don't know at this stage. Wait, what? Do you have another question? Will you step out as Lucasfilm boss this year? Really don't know at this stage. There's so much going on, Mike. I don't know. When it happens, who'll make the decision? Me. It's my decision. This is 100% my decision. So I love how the interview ends is like, it's far from the truth that I'm leaving. And then literally like the last two questions is, so will you step out as Lucasfilm boss this year? And she said, I really don't know at this stage. So you fucking lied at the start of the interview. This is very revealing. This is very, very revealing. This interview. Because one, we've come to learn what might be in the future. So, obviously, The Mandalorian and Grogu, that's the next movie, right? We all knew that. But apparently, the Sean Levy film has been moved up. That's crazy. Like, that's the next one after that. So, God knows when this Rey movie's coming out. God knows when what is it? The James Mangold movie's coming out, if at all, if any of these. But, so, again, at first I'm like, all right, she's not leaving, but then she's like, maybe I will. You know, like I don't know at this stage. Like, what are we talking? It's so much like back and forth, so much word salad. But the thing that really stands out to me in this, and it's the reason why she is completely ill-suited for this position. It's literally this, that statement. One, this author, who's this author? Who's this writer? Mikey. Oh, I want to read the comments. I'm very curious. Mike Fleming Jr. Mike, I got to admit, man, you went in here with a profound amount of bias. Profound amount of bias here. I mean, you had a goddamn preamble. It's longer than one of my goddamn preambles. Just sing her praises, saying how great she is. But what's so revealing is any regrets, and no, I mean far from regrets. That to me, it's like, all right, well, okay. So we're just gonna keep getting the same goddamn problems. That is absolutely insane to me. Crazy. It's crazy. I want to read these comments, and I want to like hear from you guys what the comments say. I'm very curious. Comments, if they're even so. Imagine being so bad at your job, news of your retirement is met with pure joy. Huge fan of the Acolyte from Huge Fan of the Acolyte. That's top tier comment right there. Imagine being so bad at your job, news of your retirement is met with pure joy. Wow, that's hard. That's a hard one to beat, guys. I don't think we can beat that one. All right, Anonymous says, good interview. I've always been a fan of Kathleen Kennedy. I'm glad she is staying. She is tough, and sometimes you just have to ignore the noise and stay focused. As they say, if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong. But there's so many people that don't like what she's doing. And I'm not even talking about the goddamn scumsuckers who are like, she's a fucking woman and a broad. I don't want her doing this. I don't need no women in my stores. It's not that. It's even people like me who I'm like, I don't give a shit whether you're a woman or a man. I don't care what your race is. Just do a good job. Okay? I just don't feel that way. Brian, 6 of here. Appreciation for prolific film. Yeah, exactly. That's a film producer, no matter what people say. Years to come. Yeah, and schools, universities about how to destroy a multi-million-dollar franchise and bring it to its knees. Ugh! Kathleen, you've overstayed your welcome. Star Wars fans hate the fact that you ruined the franchise. Retire, enjoy the board, charity, let Star Wars go. Yeah, they do more. They do more. There you go. That first comment, though, is brilliant. Imagine being so bad at your job. News of your retirement is met with pure joy. That's fucking hilarious. Fuck. Oh, man. I got mad. I got distracted and mad. All right. I'm very curious to hear your opinions, chat, on this. Wow. Oh, God. I hate how this manufactured this specific interview is. They just went with such a friendly, like, person that gave her so much coverage. Man, that just... That grinds my gears, chat. It grinds my gears. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Humble. Yeah, very humble, very humble. Oh, man. I'm going to screw up a little bit. Okay. Wow, Katria has reappeared. Yeah, she's back. Who wrote this? Her son? I know, right? Oh, God. He's a glazer. I do not like any type of so-called Jews. 100%. It's like, this feels like an opinion article. Like, what the hell's going on here? Can't be a download of Lucasfilm and the fact that fucking Ira doesn't see that is goddamn wild. It is. Well, I guess they just been together for so long. Is this the same dude that Kyle Carla? Oh, I think it is. I wonder if it's him. Yeah. What's her name from Jesus, Amelia Perez. I wonder if that's him. I'm gonna look at his articles. He's written so many though. I'll have to check. We'll check in a bit because I want to read your guys' comments. But I wonder if it's the same guy. So potentially really good news. I don't think it's very good news. I still think DC's in good hands with Jamie. I do think I agree 100%. 100%. Oh, Sony. I forgot about Sony. Jesus, everyone did. It's a long interview. It is. Oh, Fast and Furious Star Wars crossover. Let's fucking go. Stop torturing yourself, Chris. The Vagrant's head is throbbing while reading this. It just. I mean, I don't even have to like say it or explain myself. Like everything that she said is the reason why Star Wars is in the state that Lucasfilm was in the state that it's in. It's like it makes sense. It just like based on her comments, it's like okay. She might not have regrets, but we do. Yep. God, this is one of the reasons why I always say if you don't have good writing, you don't have shit. That's right. Yeah, if you have, like I like to say this, like if you have a shit script, a shit direction, you're gonna give it a shit performance. This is what's gonna happen. One of the smart things James Gunn has been doing is refusing to start production until the scripts are... Yes, 100%. I think it would be so great if the next head of Lucasfilm, which apparently is Kathleen Kennedy for the time being, but whoever would replace her and got her entire team, if they were to come in and say, like, we're not going to announce anything until we have a full finished fucking script. At the very least that. I would love if they have a script and a filmmaker attached. That would be great. But if they were like, we're not going to announce anything until we have a script on my desk and it's approved and this is what we want to do, I'd be like, cool. That would be great. That would be so fucking great. I would love that. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Ace Rock, juice you juicy motherfuckers, go juice yourselves. I gotta do it, mother juicer. Good to see Ace Rock. Hope you're doing well. Because James Gunn knows that the writing is the blueprint to an amazing project. Yep, I mean, he was a writer first. Of course. Those other movies are most likely not coming out. The Sean Levy movie is the next era of Star Wars, and it makes sense just to push. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Mandalorian obviously is coming out because, I mean, it's in post-production right now, so that's obvious. And yeah, I don't think the Rey movie's coming out at all. I don't think that movie's going to happen. I really just don't. And the James Mangold one is, when it happens, maybe it happens, but he's getting nominated for Oscars. I could see him just like, I don't want to do that. Even the Swamp Thing apparently movie got pushed, so it's like he might not even end up doing that movie. You know, no regrets. You should just have that like tattooed on her chest. No regrets. Mike the Glazer, journalist extraordinary. Yeah, I was like, wow, this guy. I don't mean to be an asshole. I don't mean a dick to him, but I'm just like, dude, okay, we get it. You fucking like her. Mike Glazer wants premiere tickets to the next Star Wars film. I think, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're going to premiere access. Like, an interview like this was like huge. It's a big get. Big get, because everyone's going to be talking about this now. I think you'll find this CEO fully operational. Beer dude, I found earlier tonight at my son's PT conference that my son might be the first second-generation athlete in school history, or at least in the soccer program. What? That's fucking awesome. That's great, Bearded Brew. Congratulations. Congratulations that your son's doing so well. That's great. Kathleen will be playing Rey in the next trilogy. Well, people have always said that. You have so many of these, like, white brunette, like, female leads in Star Wars, and that a lot of people are thinking, like, is this, like, Kathleen Kennedy, like, forcing herself in? Like, these, like, characters supposed to represent her, you know? Because it happens a lot. It happens a lot. In a lot of these movies. Rey, Jyn Erso, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character in Indiana Jones. It's like, yeah, it's self-insert. It's listen, they're all kind of the same character. Right? It's like, yeah. Jyn Erso. It's fun. I like her more than Rey and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, but I think Cassian Andor is a much more interesting character personally. Even without the Andor series, I just found him more interesting than Jyn. I've said this before. I think Rogue One is, in hindsight, is definitely the best of the Disney era of Star Wars films. But if I have a big critique of those of that particular movie, is that it has too many characters, and I don't feel like I get to know a lot of them aside from Cassian Andor and K2SO. And I feel like it would have made more sense if they had combined Cassian and Jyn Erso's character into one character. I think that would have been better. But that's just me. Oh, Lord. Getting kind of chuddy with that thinking? No, I understand. I get you. It's, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories or anything like that. It's been brought up, but fair enough. A fair critique, Deadpool. Fair critique. Bad Boy Sal was Sean Levy's film standalone where it specifically said, I don't know. I don't know. It's standalone, but it's the future of Star Wars. It's like, cool. It's just poor writing. That's all it is. Yeah. No, you're right. But this is just so frustrating to hear this. I want to know if this guy wrote this. I'm going to look up this Carla Sophia Gascon. I'm going to Gascon deadline. I'm going to see if it's him. It's him. Yep. Yep. It's him. I'll show you. It's the article I read way back earlier in the month. Yep, this is the same guy. It's the same guy. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's the same guy. Who like did like an oddly forgiving like just kind of like expose on her. We're like, she said horrible things, but we should, she should learn. It's like, wait, what? So it's the same guy. This makes a lot of sense. Oh, man. Jesus. It's me, Austin. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Well, there you go, chat. Yeah, this is, it's a fluff piece, definitely. So now this is probably everywhere now. Yeah, it's so much coverage of this. Oh, man. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at some stuff, chat. So there you go. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. Yeah. It's time for Final Fantasy. Yeah. On that note, chat. Yeah. But just to wrap up this conversation, again, thank you for shooting that article my way. I think it was Chris Harris who shot it my way. Thank you. It's just disappointing. I mean, just the reaction, like, of her finally leaving, it's like, good. Like, there was, as that top commenter said, it was joy. And yes, you have those people that didn't like her or like any woman in charge of anything because they're sexist and misogynist. Sure, of course, there are those people. But there are people like me, and there are other people like me, and there are people in the chat right now that don't like the job she's doing not because she's a woman, all right, in a position of authority. It has nothing to do with that. It's because I feel like she doesn't know what she's doing. And to prove that, literally just read that interview. Literally read that interview. The fact that she has no regrets. Nothing that's just been going, like, for her entire thing, not a single regret. Like, you didn't regret maybe planning out the new sequel trilogy, where you literally had filmmakers come in and, like, contradict each other the entire time and erase what the other filmmaker did beforehand, right? Just to admit that, I think this just reeks of just corporate speak and covering her ass. That's what it just feels like. Like, even to admit that would have been like, well, at least something. But it's like no lessons learned based on anything. I think that's very telling, and it's very disappointing. And it just further proves she should never have had that position. It's a shame. It's a goddamn shame, Jen. So, I don't know. I'm not mad anymore. I did get mad. I did get mad, but now the apathy's just starting to settle back in. It's starting to be like, all right, well, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be, Chad. And when she does go, seemingly, it's just going to be one of her acolytes. It's just going to be one of her people coming in there and just taking over. They're still going to be making the same goddamn decisions anyway. That is just so wild that Bob Iger and the powers that be in Disney are fine with this. They're okay with this. And I just don't get that. You haven't had a movie in nearly 6 years. Okay. All right.